I want to turn to some comments that you made in the beginning that we are in a gray zone at the moment, and India is in a moment of self-reflection and pondering some of its strategic options, its long-term priorities, and perhaps very soon a new foreign policy will emerge. So, I let's say that by some freak luck, this video is watched by the Prime Minister of India. And if you had to give three suggestions or advice or tips to the Prime Minister of India for a new foreign policy going forward, what would be those three suggestions, Ambassador Saab?
I would say number one, we should re-engage with China. Re-engage with China as part of a strategic process. Engage at summit level, engage at ministerial level, but more importantly, engage at officials level. Let them come up with ideas as to how we could take the relationship forward and ideas as to how some of the sensitivities could be addressed. We should have a candid discussion on this. Number two, I would say we should revive the platform of the RIC. Russia, India, and China, that constitutes a very significant platform. I would say to you as an aside, Russia's presence in a trilateral engagement serves to moderate China. If China is left on its own, there will be a sense of asymmetry in India. But when you are talking in a trilateral platform, you will find that some of the sharp edges with regard to asymmetry, with regard to the sense of challenge or the sense of threat, differences, etc., they can be moderated. And I am therefore a very strong supporter of the RIC. Number three, I would say very clearly, we must maintain a dialogue with the Americans. The Americans have provoked us quite significantly. They have referred to our economy as a dead economy. They have entertained the Pakistani army chief in the White House very soon after we had this horrendous experience of the Pahalgam massacre. I would say that India should show maturity in this regard. We don't sulk. We should show maturity that there is a as my colleague Mr. Navtej Sarna said recently, there is a United States beyond Trump, and there is a life in the United States after Trump. Even Trump is not someone who is he could change his mind anytime, but I'm there for the long game. Relationship, strategic partnership, strategic vision, the word strategic itself refers to a long term approach. The United States has no cognizance of this. If many of its officials make extremely foolish remarks, and you are embarrassed. Mr. Peter Navarro wrote an article in the Financial Times about justifying why we have tariffs. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment for anyone who reads it. Does this man have a minimum clue about international affairs? I mean, he blames India for the war in Ukraine. What about the $150 billion of weapons that the West has given Ukraine? What about what about the American intervention when you had an agreement in March 2021 and the American intervention ensured that that agreement was not implemented? So if the war has occurred in Ukraine, the United States is directly responsible for encouraging it, for making it inevitable, for pushing, knowing full well. Biden, in his public statement in June 2021, stated that for Putin, it is a red line. I mean, NATO membership for Ukraine is a red line. And if I was in his place, I would think exactly that. So
Yes, I
let us be very clear.
mean, no
And
doubt
I
about
would
it.
say that the United States should take a fresh look. But we are a mature nation. We are an ancient civilization. We have a lot of gravitas, and our interlocutor may not have it, but we have it. And we should continue to engage with wide sections of the American establishment, the business, the think tanks, and even I would say political leaders, even though many of them, because the United States is a polarized country.
Yeah.
There are large sections of the United States, as you yourself pointed out, even Republicans are very unhappy. Look at the way the United States has behaved in Gaza, giving a blank check to a murderous regime led by Netanyahu. which has mercilessly killed about 62, 63,000 people and is today starving that population to death? Are they the hallmarks of a great power that wants to retain its hegemony in world affairs? I would say this is not acceptable. But we are mature. We will deal with various sections of the American establishment, not through churlishness. We will not call them names, but that would be my last recommendation. So, number one, that we must deal with China, engage with China. Number two, revive the RIC. And number three, engage with large sections of the American establishment and hope for that period when there will be good sense in the White House and in the political establishment.
When it comes to Gaza and India has not exactly shrouded itself in moral glory, Ambassador Saab, but we will talk about that some other day. But I really, really want to thank you very much for coming on the show and speaking with such candor and such deep analysis and understanding of foreign policy. And I think it is very important that not only policymakers in Delhi, but policymakers in Washington, D.C. also listen to your analysis. They may agree, they may not agree, but it is important to understand because you're not only bringing an objective analysis, but you're also bringing the Indian perspective at the same time. So I think it is, I'm absolutely delighted to have spoken to you on this particular issue. So thank you very much for coming on Khanversations.
Thank you very much, Professor. Always a pleasure to sit with you.
Thank you very much.